What's up, guys? I know it's been a long time since I've made a video. Um, I'm not happy about that, but at the same time, it's just what life leads us to sometimes. I have had a very busy year. A lot of things have happened, and I don't feel like I don't feel like I had enough space mentally and just spiritually to feel compelled to say something coherent that I can actually stand by for an extended period of time. What do I mean? I mean by that, I've been learning about myself and about just things around me at such a rapid pace this year and I feel like I've been changing and evolving so rapidly for such a long time now. I didn't want to say anything that I wouldn't even resonate with in a couple days or weeks. Um, but I wanted to make a video and an update on my meditations that I've been doing. I've been meditating consistently just about every single day, almost every single day for a month and a half now. And that's the longest I've ever gone consistently. I've been off and on meditating for about 6 years now. And I'm just gonna kind of explain why I wanted to get back into it and also just my experience with it, what I'm doing with it. I really just want to dedicate this video as a really giant breakdown of this experience. I just feel really compelled to talk about it somewhere, even if one person watches this video. I know that it is the most important practice. It is the most important thing I think anyone can do on this planet. Right next to prayer. I don't want to try and play this game of like comparison for things, because whatever works for you is whatever works for you, but I'd put it at number one. I'd put it at number one above anything else. So I want to make sure I map it out properly, but I'll go with why I started back up again. So I've been off and on for meditation for like 6 years now, but I hit a period every single time where, because when I start meditating again, I get those immediate benefits, right? I start sleeping better. I feel a little more confident. I just feel better in my body. I feel more clear, less anxiety. And that lasts about like a week, right? That lasts about a week and a half, no more than 2 weeks. And then that's when the trouble starts. That is when you know, your mind has settled enough where things start rising to the surface. You start looking at yourself in a very intense way, and your awareness just starts heightening really quickly, at least for me. I mean, once again, this is something I've been doing for a long time now, so my awareness state is going to be more sensitive to it because of the length I've been doing it. Someone just doing this for the first time, it probably isn't gonna hit you as hard. Maybe it will, I don't know. Either way, I think it would be for the better if it is hitting you hard. Um, but I started back up again for a couple reasons. Of course, unfortunately, one is my health started declining rapidly. I've battled a lot of anxiety this year, for multiple reasons, but the last couple months it's gotten really, really bad. Um, Couple factors, won't really get into much. I can talk about one. I did start a new job, and that has been very stressful on me. Um, Learning to drive, that is, for the first time, really truly in my life, that has been a overwhelming but beautiful addition to my life. Um, there were a couple things along the way as well that definitely contributed, but either way, anxiety has been an enemy for me this year, and it's affected me physically a lot in different ways. And it affected me physically at the beginning of the year, but also um, it's just taken a whole new toll the last couple months. And it's really scary. It's really scary to see your health declining because of your mental. And I knew that it was time for me to do something. Um, so I don't want to say I feel shame, but I feel a little, knowing that I have really finally committed to this powerful practice full time because of my suffering. But that's kind of why life is greatly about suffering, anyways. It's God bringing his vessels back to himself, so that's why suffering it happens. It helps to make you get closer to God. So I'm grateful, but I don't want to give all the credit to suffering. A lot of it also is just I want to explore myself. I want to explore my relationship with reality, with God, with life, with people around me to the deepest level I can possibly go. I feel out of place a lot in day-to-day life because a lot of people talk about these goals that they have, um and a lot of it is based in materialism, which is, and there's not, as long as it's not consuming you, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's why it's hard to not say there's nothing wrong with that, because most people are consumed by it. And I feel like I got lost deeply along a trail this year of trying to be consumed in materialistic possession, whether that's more money or how much money I don't have, or just status and all of these different worldly things, which, once again, if there's a healthy pursuit of improvement, there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like very few people actually have a healthy relationship with it. And I know I didn't. I know there are always deeper reasonings to why you're hyper obsessing over something. And materialistic possession was definitely a big one this year. Um, so what I'm trying to say is I feel out of place because most people have these goals. And for me, my conditioning makes me feel a little disoriented when a big part of my goals is just evolving spiritually. You know, I still want to have fun. I still want to go out and live my life. There's, of course, but if we're talking about actual goals, I'm still trying to accept that a great part of me just wants to pursue reality, pursue myself, pursue God more than anything else. And I'm not talking on a level of like, just some hobby. Like, I notice that I am just becoming more introspective as the years go by. I'm becoming more introspective. I am almost obsessed with evolving as a spirit in this body. And I knew meditation would be the absolute speed track to aligning myself with that purpose. And I'm using meditation to grow. I want to grow. And every single time I've meditated up until this last month and a half, I quit after a week or two because something inside just says no. I can't do it. And a big thing I want to talk about, it's not also just because like it's making me look at things that I'm not ready to look at within myself. That even though that is a big piece, but a bigger one is what it does to my perception of day-to-day life. Meditation makes me very hyper aware, and I'm going to do the best I can to describe what it feels like in these states that I enter for an extended period of time when I'm meditating. But the biggest thing I suffer is impermanence. What is impermanence? At least impermanence to me is the recognition that everything is passing, that every single moment ever is beginning and dying simultaneously, that there is nothing you can essentially hold on to, that every moment is passing. Every single moment is passing. You cannot, as quick as you try and grab onto a moment, it's already gone. That experience itself is just a collection of appearances and images and memories and sensories. It's all this collection that we are all very, very minimally grasping in our minds, in our bodies. There's so much happening. There's so much color. There's so much feeling. There's so many people. There's so many moments in every moment. And as soon as it happens, it's beginning and leaving at the same time. And I've suffered that grief significantly for years, but it always picks up even more when I start meditating again. It's this recognition in my hyper aware states after sessions, like, wow, it just feels like I'm on a merry-go-round, that I'm on this super fast speeding train I can't get off of. And there are days where it's unbearable. It's like I'm trying not to get emotional talking about it and really like digesting that again. That it's all just passing by. And no matter what moment you're looking forward to, like, I've just had this significant grief of knowing whatever you're looking forward to, like, it's just going by. You can't keep it. You just can't keep it. So that is something big I've been struggling with. It's getting a little better. Um, so you can also say a part of what I'm grieving is just a lack of control, like recognizing how can I possibly believe I'm fully in control of my life? Like, when you really are present and you're really sitting with how like your brain even works, like the thoughts, like how are we even choosing to follow which random thought appears? Everything is appearing. Everything is appearing all at once. And it feels like a giant improvisation. Now, divinely, I still believe it is orchestrated. I still do believe in destiny. But from a singular perspective, the only perspective that I have, which is my own and how I perceive the world, it really feels like improv. You're just really, whatever happens is what you follow. There's so much I want to talk about, and I do want to get more into like practical base. Um, my anxiety has dropped significantly. It has. I am so much more emotionally regulated now. I can't even tell you like how much better I manage my emotions. But what's been really weird and eye-opening is meditation is simmering that, right? It's dissolving this fight or flight in you that you didn't even fully realize how bad it was until it started decreasing. And on top of that, you don't even realize how much you are identifying with it. Like, you have accumulated a giant sense of yourself caught up in anxiety and tension and fake fuel. And when I say fake fuel, I'm saying a lot of what is running people and getting them up in day-to-day life is fear, is hate, is anxiety. It's these unsustainable fuels that are actually running so many of us. And that's what it's been doing for myself. I'm like, I'm really finally having the space to be like, why did I even want the things I wanted? Why did I want money? I wanted money because I feared of being left behind. Is that a genuine want, or is that coming from a place of scarcity and fear? there are so many things I wanted. There were so many things that I thought were getting me out of bed every morning, and then I realized it was coming from a place of fear, anxiety. If even at my new job, I first operated on this place of fear and like, okay, and why did I even want a new job? I want a new job because I was fearful of being stagnant at my previous job. I want to give some credit. It wasn't all fear. I just wanted better for myself, but I feel like a lot of the wants and goals I had are just from this place of fear of like feeling like you're going to be left behind or you're not good enough. And if I stay here for an X amount of time, then that's going to prove what I'm already slightly feeling about myself. Yikes. So, what happens when that fear starts dying out? What happens when you're not being run by anxiety anymore? I'll tell you right now, I'm in a freaking limbo. I am in a giant limbo where I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm doing here. I am so much more calm and collected now, and my brain can't fathom that for an extended period of time. It's my nervous system. I can feel like patterns dying out. I can see my thoughts being like, why don't we stress over this as much anymore? Why don't we go here to we all have these loops, right? Anyone listening to what I'm saying right now, go to your sets of stories that you kind of play within yourself every day. You probably have a couple narrations, right, that you set out during your day, right? And you follow them and you replay them over and over and over and over again, right? And what does it usually make you feel? It makes you feel insecure, anxiety, and crap, and existential dread. But you have these sets of stories that are kind of mapped out every day of your life, and your day-to-day life has to be filtered through these stories. What can still happen as these stories are mapped out and set for another day? It's like your ego is the playwright for the day, right? You wake up in the morning, it's like, all right, ego is like, it's time to get back to business. Here we go again. We're gonna start with this over here, and maybe we'll mix it up. Maybe we'll do this one first and this one later at night when you can't fall asleep, and all these different ones. We got to make sure we're drinking our caffeine so we can really up the emphasis of the stories we're telling ourselves today, right? We all have them. And if your anxiety is not great, then you know what I'm talking about to a very strong degree. You play these stories out, right? The scary thing about meditation is it starts having the playwriter lose its job. The stories become less believable. And on paper, that sounds incredible. Like, oh my God, these delusions that I have for myself every single day, that's causing me harm. Like, quieting that down, that's amazing. I'm gonna feel amazing. And that's where real uncomfortability gets in, because you don't. At least not at the stage I'm at. You see, when you're dismantling your sense of self, that is a horrifying experience. No matter how awful these delusions are, and they definitely needed to go, breaking that down and no longer believing them means that there is a process that you are now going through where you are really recognizing this is not who you are. And if you don't know, if that period hasn't happened yet where truth is arising, that limbo state that I'm talking about is it's no joke. It's like mini dark nights of the souls. It's like mini ones. It's getting up in the morning is getting harder, like you're so much more exhausted. Everything, the meaninglessness of everything is so strong. And it's only because you're eliminating the false stories that were getting you out of bed every morning. You're eliminating your own lies. There's this I go back to this example for so many different things in my life, but there's this scene in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the 6th movie, where, they're trying to go after Voldemort's Horcruxes, right? The Horcruxes are what he split his soul into these objects, and they have to go get these objects. And to get one of these objects, Dumbledore has to keep drinking this poison, basically. It's not killing him, but it is the most excruciatingly foul thing you could drink. It's causing him immense suffering. And he tells Harry before he starts, it's like, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, you have to keep feeding me the cup. You have to keep letting me drink it. I'm going to beg you to stop. I'm going to be in complete agony and misery, and no matter what, you have to force me to keep drinking this. Right? And he does, and he's suffering and he's miserable, but the more he drinks in, the more the well goes down of the cursed water, right? Then they get closer to finding that object to get Voldemort's soul. But I use that exact same example for meditation, right? Meditation, to my mind right now, a lot of it feels like poison. I know it's not, right? I know this is the best thing I'm ever doing for myself. And in my truth, I know that. But everything else at the moment, it's like you're forcing yourself to continue drinking. You're forcing yourself to continue meditating. I've had some horrible days, and I'm telling you, it's like, no, another 10-minute session, another 15-minute session, another 20-minute session. Now, some days it's just too much. Some days I'm ratting out my nervous system. Some days I'm overpowering what my mind can handle. And that is when I make adjustments. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes. But no matter what, I'm in a stage now where I have to see where this rabbit hole goes. I'm no longer afraid of what comes up. And things have been coming up, guys. It's oh man, it only took a couple weeks for my worst insecurities that I don't like to talk about with anyone. Can't even feel comfortable usually praying about it. That is to me and to myself mostly. The little times I share it with certain people in my life that are very close to me, I don't like to talk about it almost immediately as I talk about it. And meditation, man, it's like there were a couple days, it lasted for like 2 days where I was just staring at it in a mirror all day long. Like, I could not think of anything else outside of that instinct. Like, I had to face it. And it has gotten significantly better. Like, that was a natural release. Sedona method releasing, that's, you're kind of forcing releases, right? Then there's the meditation releases where it's just kind of organically making its way up to the surface for you to look at, for you to face, for you to really digest, for you to feel, right? Meditation is making you feel. And some very uncomfortable things have come up. And it's no picnic, man. It's no picnic. One thing, what was I going to say? One thing I keep saying to myself, and it's still happening, is I understand why people do what they do. I understand the alcohol abuse. I understand the drug addiction. I understand these harmful things that people still willfully engage in. They're still making that choice to do that because this stuff it takes courage. If you stumble upon this video and you are someone engaging in meditation or something you're even thinking of doing, it requires, I think it's the bravest thing you could actually ever do in life. I think it's the bravest thing you could ever do. I know I get caught up in my own hyperbole sometimes, but I can say that so confidently because isn't everything what everyone does that's not good for them is a way to slightly run from themselves? Isn't these quote unquote addictions we have, these bad habits, isn't it a way to offload the intensity of what we feel about ourselves in day-to-day life? And to commit to a practice that is exercising your strength to look at all of it as much as you can, how is that not the bravest thing you could possibly do? Now, what do I do for meditation? For me, it's very simple. I like to follow my breath. I close my eyes. I like to play shamanic drumming. I like to drum sometimes. It keeps the mind still and focused. I like waves. I like waves a lot. I like to just listen to waves, and it takes me to a beautiful place. Anytime I lose myself in my thoughts, bring it back to the breath. Bring yourself back to your true position, which is the observer of your experience, outwardly, inwardly, and bringing your breath is the perfect baseline. My giant goal with meditation is to increase my baseline of consciousness, to get to know myself on a much more intimate level. I thought I knew myself well a month and a half ago, and you could say to most people, you'd say about me like absolutely you do, but no. Since doing this the last month and a half, it's just been a completely different level. It's been a completely different experience. Every day I wake up now, I'm like, what the hell is going on? My perception of myself, like the world, everything right now is so strange. It's so strange. I can tell my nervous system has not digested this new baseline of reality that I'm bringing myself to more and more every day. I want to explore. I want to voyage within this very mysterious universe that we're all in. There were periods in college, and even when I was back from college, where reality is just very unknown, and it's full and yet so empty at the same time. And I feel so much of both all the time. And I feel like a voyager that is hitting the seas, no matter what's in store, that this time I stay on the ship and I keep sailing. And that is what I feel like with meditation right now. I feel this strong sense of familiar and unfamiliarity at the same time. Some days I feel one, and other days I feel the opposite. But as intense as what I'm saying is, I'm still very, very curious where this can go. And I can feel in my bones this is just the very, very beginning. To anyone that stumbles across this video, it's serious, guys. Meditation is, and I can't stop talking about it to people around me because it's just unbelievable how I manage things in day-to-day life. You know, I'm starting to pick up reading more again. I'm drinking a gallon of water every day. Like it makes you just want to just be alive. It makes you want to eat better. It makes you want to just do stuff that is really good for you. It makes you understand yourself and how you tick, and it's making me really dive deep into my past like never before. And it's so subtle how it happens. Like, oh shit, that's why I do something like this. That's why I fixate on this. It's because it's kind of stems from this moment all the way, all those years ago. It all started from something. You're a web. You're a divine web. You are the most complex creation that you know. We are all so intricately detailed to such a level that we will never even be able to comprehend. But even the most boring people you might ever come across, they creation is incredible. What God has done in this world, and the level of depth and detail of every living thing is so fascinating to me. And to feel that about yourself is jaw-dropping. It's eye-opening. I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm curious to see where this goes. I really wanted to record this and get this in. Because I think even if one person listens to this and can resonate to any degree, or it leaves you a little bit more open-minded or whatever it is, this is something that I definitely am Alice in Wonderland right now. I decided to jump in, and you know you can't go back. You just can't. You don't want to either. Whatever is in store, it's leading me to finally have the courage to ask myself questions that I have been too scared to ask for years. What do I want? What do I want out of life? What career path do I want to dive into? What do I want out of life? Once you're so sick of your own complaining, your own BS, you just want to start asking the real questions, like, what am I doing here? And if I'm gonna be here, we need to investigate that question. We need to investigate ourselves to a significant degree. We're going all in. We're going all the way. And that is what I will continue to do. And that is what I hope and pray that some of you guys decide to do or have been doing. But either way, wherever you are, I hope you're okay. And I know it can really feel like it, but you're not alone. You're not alone at all. There's a lot of strange experiences you can have in reality, and whatever you're experiencing, whatever your soul has chosen to want to learn and go through in this life, just for a split second, don't try and judge it. Don't even try and honor it, but attempt to be still enough to understand it. Much love. Take care.